Hello YouTube and welcome back to Assetto Corsa. We're done with the Dream Pack and so we're going back into reviewing mods. And well, what mod to start with? We're going to be having a look at the Ferrari 288GTO Evoluzione. I just hit the hooter. Ignore that. Only 6 of these cars were built, 3 of them becoming F40 test beds, but thanks to the fantastic work of GTO Fire and his team, we can now all enjoy it in Assetto Corsa. Designed by Pininfarina, this 2.8 litre V8 twin turbo churns out a massive 650 brake horsepower at 7,800 RPM. That is absolutely insane. And I'll tell you something, it's very difficult to drive, especially considering that it churns out 667 newton meters of torque at 4,750 RPM. So this car is, well, it's an incredibly difficult car to drive. You need a fantastically stable left foot to drive this. It has 5 gears and it is a manual transmission, so you are going to see me using the clutch quite a bit. I think it's working. In one of the earlier episodes, I remember seeing that you weren't able to see the actual clutch app. There you go, I've already spun it. There's crash number 1. I actually crashed it 3 times in here, but there's number 1. Number 2 and number 3 were a bit more decent, I suppose. 5 gears, manual transmission, all that is thrown to the rear wheel, so this car is incredibly difficult to drive. You just saw me knock the turbo up to 100%. I don't know why I did that, I must be out of my mind, but it is a rear wheel drive, which means that this car is for those who love driving and those who love to have a difficult car to drive. 0 to 60, 4 seconds flat, thanks to the actual power and the weight only being 940 kilos. This car is incredibly light. In fact, this car is as light as my car, and my car is nowhere near as powerful as this. And that means that this car can be propelled up to a top speed of, wait for it, 230 miles an hour. Yeah, you're not hearing wrong. This is a 1985-1986 car, and it can go 230 miles an hour. The mod itself is designed by GTO Fire, who created the model and a number of the textures, and of course created all the other 288s as well, including the fictional one, the XX, and the standard 288 GTO, which we reviewed quite some time ago. The physics are by Felipe Viano and Rally Legends. Again, Felipe, I keep pronouncing your name wrong. Sounds are by Fonseca, and I tell you something, he has got some pretty good sounds. I think he's up there with Never Crash and El Mariachi. Sovas did some animation and texturing. You got NRAP as well on texturing, especially on the instrument panels you see inside. And you had J-Monkey, who did a number of the tests. So, a good team again. These guys, we've heard all their names before. I know it's been quite a few weeks since we've mentioned any of them, thanks to, you know, the Dream Pack taking up 5 weeks, plus I took a week off ill, so it's been 6 weeks since we've even had a look at a mod. But they're the guys, and they've done a really good job with this car. You saw me crash it once, you're going to see me crash it another 2 times, I believe, and you're going to see me make a couple of mistakes here and there. I'll tell you something, it's a wild car to drive, and when I mean wild car, I mean it's not an F40. It's really not an F40. Obviously, if you look in the replay box, you can see a lot of the car it was going to become. You can see a lot of the F40 in there. You've got the front lights. They sort of dipped much lower than the F40. The F40 obviously had them higher up. It had a slightly longer nose. It was a slightly higher radius on the actual bonnet. But you can see the car, especially on the side, you can definitely see the F40 there. At the back, you can see a lot of the shape for the F40 formed there. Almost spun it there. You can see, I'm struggling to drive this. I am definitely struggling to drive this car. But the car itself, the modelling, I have to admit, while on the outside the modelling is absolutely great, on the inside I did notice, if you look at the steering wheel, it looks a little bit blocky. Just a little bit. Not massively blocky, but it is visible, and I definitely noticed it. The rest of the car seems fine. It's just that steering wheel that looks a little bit out of place. It looks a bit hexagonal or octagonal, I guess. So there could be, that could be a bit an improvement that they could make. The rest of the car is, very nice. The modelling is top notch. The texturing is top notch. There's a few liveries available as well as this Rossa Scuderia colour. one of the liveries, I think the default livery it comes with is a Castrol one, which actually looks really, really nice. But I thought, you know what, I drove the GTO in Scuderia Red, or whatever they call it, Rosso Scuderia. I drove the XX version in Rosso Scuderia, although I did have white stripes on them, the Go Faster stripes. And so it's only right that I drive this in Rosso Scuderia. So that's what I did. Now the sounds, they're really, really nice, but they are marked as being a work in progress. Now this is the 1.1 version of the car, but the sounds still seem to be a work in progress. To be honest, I think they're really good already. The car sounds alive. There's dozens and dozens of noises. Maybe it's just, you know, the noises mixing together. There may not be hundreds of noises, but the noises mixing together are giving a very, very unique experience. The car feels very alive. It feels drivable. It feels responsive in the sound. You can judge what the car is doing just by listening to the car. I mean, take a listen to this, right, as I'm going around this complex. See, so you can hear the tires understeering. Crash number 2. You can hear the tires as I'm going around the corners, as I start to understeer ever so slightly. You can hear it on the rumble strips really nicely. You can hear the turbo spool up. You can hear the engines revving and, you know, ticking over. You can tell how much throttle I've actually got on the engine, as well as how much throttle I'm applying and how far down I've got the accelerator pressed just by listening to the engine. And there's all these other noises of going over the bumps. You can hear the car bouncing. The suspension on this car, going to bouncing, the suspension on this car is extremely stiff. You really want to avoid curbs, especially the curbs on the Nürburgring here, where I've decided to take it out because I'm a madman. You want to avoid those curbs. They are going to hurt your lap time majorly. And I hit the curbs on my second lap as well, which I'm coming up to soon. So you do want to be careful about that. Like I said, it requires a very delicate left foot, especially in second gear. For some reason I found second gear is incredibly brutal. So you do want to have a look at that. There, you can see it there. I just put my foot down just ever so slightly and I start getting some wheel spin, had to counter steer, get into third as fast as I can. Third gear is a lot more stable, and the turbo spools up so quickly. There's no you know, general lag of how the turbo spools up. Of course there's your normal turbo lag because it is a twin turbo, and we know what the turbo lag was like on the Ferrari F40, and this is almost the same engine, so you're gonna get that. But when it comes in, it just comes in instantly, which is again reminiscent of the Ferrari F40. But because of all that, you do need a very, very delicate left foot. You can see I'm doing 200 miles an hour now, and then I decided to back out of it down to 186 because it was, I didn't think I could take that corner any faster than I did. On the second lap I did manage to take it a little bit faster, I think. But delicate left foot, because you can't get on the power too quickly. You can see if you look in the little pedal box, the pedal box app on the lower right hand side. So you can see I've got my foot down here fine. Now I'm coming around this corner. Now I'm in second gear. You can see how I have to ease the throttle on, and even then I have to back off again. You can see me there, you got only half throttle. I'm backing off, no throttle, coming back onto it. In the F40, I'll be honest, I was full throttle around there. Around that corner I was doing 100 miles an hour full throttle, no problems. Well, actually there was a bit of a problem. I was sliding, but I could still do 100 miles an hour and it was fine. The other thing that I noticed about this, speaking about doing 100 miles an hour, is that you tend to be going a lot faster than you think you are, especially during the long acceleration period. So, for example, I'm coming down here. I did not realize at this point I was doing 110 miles an hour. Yeah, I knew I was going fast, but I did not realize coming up to this hill, I'm doing 150 miles an hour. Obviously I lift up in the air ever so slightly, but I managed to get the car back down because I thought I have to hold the road there, otherwise I'm going to go plowing straight on. So you can see here I'm building up speed here, 160, 170, 175, 180 miles an hour before I hit the brakes. The acceleration on this car is phenomenal. Problems with the car though. Well, I did mention the steering wheel. There's only one other problem that I found with this car, and that is the clutch. Now watch me press the clutch. and I test it in here as well. I suppose naturally I'm pressing the clutch in all the way, or almost in all the way, but I can change gear just by touching the clutch. It's so sensitive for some strange reason. It just takes the slightest touch and the gears disengage. Now I tried this later around the lap, so you're going to hear the engine do a few weird things, because I'm just basically resting my foot on the clutch and then I just pressed it in ever so slightly, and it seemed to disengage the gear. So that didn't seem right to me. That seemed to be something that maybe has gone wrong somewhere. I can't imagine this car being, you know, so sensitive on the clutch that it just takes a touch. I'm guessing you would have to press it in. So that's the only problem I found with the car. Overall though, the car is, I tell you what, if there was any car that I wanted to get back into mod reviews with, this would be at the top of, well, almost at the top of the list. There is one car that has just come out that would now be higher up the list than this, but when I was planning all of this, not when I recorded, but when I was planning what I was going to do next, this was the car that was at the top of the list. The car that it's been replaced by, of course, is the Ferrari F2002 F1 car, but we're not going to talk about that until next week. So, looking back at this car, what do I think? Great car, great texturing, great modelling, great work, physics are really nice. It feels like the car that it's supposed to be. It feels brutal, it feels crazy, and it feels rare. It does feel rare, and of course there was only 6 of them, with 3 of them becoming test beds for the development of the F40, so it's a car that you're probably never going to see. I'll be honest, I mean, you know, I've seen Aventadors, R8s, 458s, all sorts of Porsches and all sorts of, you know, Gallardo, Huracan. I've seen all the R8s, I've seen a number of Ferraris, I've even seen an F40. I have never ever seen this car, and I don't think I ever will see this car. So I'm glad it's in Assetto Corsa, and I'm gonna give the mod actually a 9.5 out of 10. The reason I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10 is I knock it back down to 4 to try and get some power. Can you imagine that? I'm actually trying to get power in this car. The reason I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10 is because I think that the clutch needs work, and I think that the inside texturing, the inside modelling, especially the steering wheel, needs a little bit of work, and it takes a lot for me to give a car 10 out of 10. Generally the cars that have been 10 out of 10 are the Formula Corsa cars, and I think there was a couple of cars here and there, but I gave 9.5 out of 10 to the Escort, and I absolutely love the Escort, so you can see how high this is up on the scale. Keep fighting Michael around the side. And as we come around the carousel, I think what I'm going to do is I'll let you enjoy the rest of this lap. So we're coming to the very technical section. It's only, with this car, it's only about 2 minutes or so, 2-3 minutes, which is absolutely incredible. That is like really quick. 8 minutes 23 was my first lap time. You're going to see that this is going to be another lap time. I'm going to crash it here though. That's my last crash. From there on in, I swear I don't crash again. At least I hope I don't crash. No, I don't crash again. That's it. So I'm going to let you guys enjoy this with minimal talking. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, or thank you very much for you if you're going to continue watching for the rest of for the last couple of minutes. And please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to our channel for more videos on Assetto Corsa. Download links, of course, will be in the description. I'm not even getting this right. Download links will be in the description box below. Sorry if this seems a bit rushed. Obviously, you guys may have noticed this has come out on a Monday, and the reason being is that I've been extremely busy, so I hadn't managed to actually record this. So I'm actually recording this on a Sunday afternoon, so there's no way I'm going to get it up by then, as I have a mad oversteer moment. Right, I'll leave it there. Like I said, please hit the like button if you like this video. Download links will be in the description box below. And subscribe to our channel for more videos on Assetto Corsa. Download this car. Let me know in the comments box what you think, because I think it's a really good car. Well done to the team, all of them. They've done a fantastic job. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next week, where I'll be looking at the Ferrari F2002 Formula 1 car, which just incidentally happens to be my favourite Formula 1 car ever. I'll see you guys next week.